Hallo zusammen, zurück bei Sherlock Holmes Chapter One. Als wir das letzte Mal auf der Polizeiwache waren, hatten wir 2 Frauen belauscht und die haben was von so einem Toten in einem Tresor erzählt. Von diesem Basilio Copello, und der sitzt hier bestimmt irgendwo zum Verhör. Deshalb schauen wir mal nach. Beim letzten Mal saß er hier nämlich noch nicht, aber vielleicht ist er jetzt da. Erstmal überall gucken. Okay, einer drinne sitzt, da sitzt keiner drinne. Da auch nicht, da auch nicht. Hier ist auch keiner drin, hier auch nicht. Da auch nicht. Mal gucken, ob der andere uns da irgendwie lang lässt jetzt.
This area is restricted.
Ah, verdammt. Vielleicht bin ich auch... Der sagt ja, ich komme da nicht hin, weil das... Vielleicht kann ich mich ja hier mal heimlich umziehen. Irgendwo versteckt. So. Ja. Wollen wir uns mal als Polizist verkleiden?
Oh, what a long day.
Jetzt geht's auch. Schauen, wo der Gute ist. Das...
Excuse me, are you Mr. Capello?
Ja,
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm
da
hoping you
quatscht er
could
den
spare
an.
a moment to talk.
Manners, what a pleasant surprise. Most of your colleagues have lacked even the simplest of common courtesies.
The reason should be apparent, Mr. Capello. I am not a policeman. I have taken an independent interest in your situation.
Ah, of course, you're a journalist.
Nothing so prosaic. I'm a detective of sorts with an interest in the interesting, such as your case. I'm not after your money nor a scandalous tale for the Gazette, just the truth.
Ah, how quaint. Bene. Ask your questions, Mr. Holmes.
Fokussierter Blick. Elegante modische Kleidung. Frische Verletzung. Eins fehlt mir noch. Fest am Finger, Ehering. Der war aber auf der anderen Seite.
You are surprisingly composed for a man accused of murder. Not so easily shaken, I take it.
Life is full of surprises. You'd be astonished how many deals go sour due to a force majeure. One becomes skilled at adapting. I am confident this will all be set straight. Until then, I will endure.
Much how you endure that injured hand. Those bruises look painful, but you seem barely aware of it. Were you attacked?
Ah, no. A minor accident, nothing more. My heady days as a man out to prove his valor are far behind me. I now know that to succeed in life, one must stay calm and plan ahead. The world will turn your way eventually. And if it does not, then one must persuade it so.
Please, tell me how you ended up in this situation.
Well, this morning some clients arrived to finalize their purchase of a Copello modular safe. But when we opened the door, out tumbled a dead man.
And I take it this wasn't normal.
No, I normally keep my corpses in the wardrobe. Please, young man, spare me your wit. The rest of the day was a blur. I recognized the victim, and it seems so did the police. That was enough to make me the main suspect.
Who sent for the authorities?
No one. As it happens, we had a break-in last night. Nothing was stolen, but for insurance purposes, the report had to be made. So, police officers just happened to be on the premises when we discovered the body in the safe.
You mentioned you were showing your wares to some prospective buyers when the safe was opened. Who were they?
Clerks from the bank. They inspected the safe from top to bottom yesterday. I assumed the sale was just a formality at that point.
And the safe was closed?
It's usually open, but it locks automatically when the door swings closed. That's another marvelous Coppello invention.
A coffin that locks itself. Marvelous indeed. Help me grasp your movements yesterday. What time did you meet the customers from the bank, and did you have any other appointments?
Yesterday, the bank clerks arrived at 10 a.m. Afterwards, I was alone in the office until my wife Augusta came in at 3 p.m. I left for home at 6:30 p.m.
And what about this morning?
Our meeting for the demonstration was set for 9 a.m. I arrived about half an hour prior in order to prepare.
I have one final inquiry. Do you recall the time at which the safe door was closed?
Young man, I may just as well ask you when you closed your cigar case. I have opened our safes a dozen times a day for a dozen years. I do not recall.
You say you became the suspect when the police identified the victim. Is there history between you?
Surely you jest. That man and I have never met, and never would, unless he became the first deity in history to use our products.
Some sort of family feud? I'm afraid I'm not familiar.
You must be new to Cordona. It's an old tale. Back in Italy, generations ago, the deities tried to ruin our family business. They nearly succeeded. The Coppellos rightfully struck back, but there has been bad blood ever since.
And does that blood flow in you too?
I told you, sir, it's an old story, or it was. I fear this horrible event portends worse to come. My wife may be in danger as we speak.
I'd like to inquire about the burglary.
I'm not sure I see the connection, but if you wish to know more, talk to Billy Lloyd, the night watchman. He scared off the thief.
Was it also Billy that discovered the burglar?
No, my wife did. She had stayed late yesterday. Poor Augusta. At least she's safer with the police than at home alone.
Well, Mr. Coppello, I think that's all I need from you at present. Where can I find your office?
Here, take my card. Billy should be on site to assist with the investigation. And please, sir, would you check on my wife before you depart?
Thank you. I will endeavor to speak with her before I leave the station.
Please, treat her gently. Women lack our resilience when it comes to ordeals like this. I shall eagerly await your return. After all, little else I can do.
Oh, Sherry, disappointing. We were putting on a show and you call it off halfway through.
Nur ich habe gar nicht mitbekommen, dass wir da eine Herausforderung hatten. Ich hätte ihn wahrscheinlich anlügen sollen und sagen sollen, ich bin ein Polizist. So, dann suchen wir sie jetzt mal.
Mrs. Coppello, please wait in the office. The inspector will be here soon.
Da ist sie.
You must be the inspector.
Would you be Augusta Coppello?
Must I really repeat myself to every baby-faced man in uniform that strides in?
Forgive me, I am not the inspector, but I am working on your husband's case.
Then I have nothing to say to you. Come back with the inspector in charge so that we may dispense with the endless repetition.
Na, aber kurz zum Laudanum ein. Goldener Hafenanstecker. Tja, ich würde sagen, die ist unter Schock.
Whilst I prefer German composers, the harp solo from Lucia di Lammermoor stands out as one of Donizetti's finest contributions to the form. I'm sure Basilio thought the same.
He did. How? Did he tell you how we met?
Oh, there was no need. It is trivial to observe how much you value your memories of playing harp in the orchestra, and even an amateur Italian harpist would be familiar with Donizetti's finest work.
Yes. Music is a balm in these uncertain times. It is nice to meet another who appreciates it.
Much as I appreciate the truth. Please, Mrs. Coppello, let me help you and your husband.
I am not unappreciative, sir. But I'm afraid I presently lack the strength.
Basilio tells me you were present during the burglary yesterday. What can you tell me about it?
Oh, it gave me such a fright. I fainted, fell to the floor. I wish I could help you, but I'm just utterly useless. Please, I want to rest before the inspector arrives.
You've had quite the day, Mrs. Capello. I shall leave you be.
Ja,
If
ist
I
ja
have
mal so
further
Fragen
questions, I
kannst.
may visit again later.
Vielleicht kann man sie mal ansprechen.
Please let me rest.
Ach, verdammt. Kann man nicht. Zu spät. Dann gehe ich mal raus. Und wir begeben uns mal an den Tatort. Scaladio. Nee, ich muss mal erstmal hier in die Fallmappe gucken, um die Adresse zu haben. Firmengebäude hier. Amokapellen Adler Street östlich der St. Clemens Kathedrale. So, hier haben wir die Kathedrale. Also wahrscheinlich hier so irgendwo. Hier so. Wo bin ich? Ich bin da. Naja, dann können wir da ja hinlaufen. Nee, ich habe die Markierung rausgenommen. Verdammt! Ah, da. Abkürzung? Na, egal. Egal. Ich habe wahrscheinlich die falsche Markierung gesetzt, aber mal ja sehen. Jetzt renne ich immer noch als Polizist hier durch die Gegend. Also hier irgendwo muss das Haus sein. Wahrscheinlich steht John auch davor. Jetzt bin ich wieder vorbeigerannt. Wer ist er denn? Ne, mit dem kann ich nicht reden.
Seni görmek güzel.
Da ist die Kapelle. Ist das jetzt hier die Armour Street? Ja. Adler Street, nicht Armour Street. Da ist es doch.
Hello there.
Ill-fitting pants, wonky nose, and hair that appears to have been cut by your own hand. You must be Billy Lloyd.
Oh, it's you! I knew you'd come.
You did?
You're Mirko Gallia, the best investigative journalist on Cordona. I'm a fan of your work.
Alas, you're mistaken. The name is Sherlock Holmes, and your employer...
Oh, of course. Discretion. I'm sorry. I doubt the policeman upstairs heard me, though, so your secret is safe with me, Sherlock.
Mr. Capello told me you were present during the burglary and scared the criminal off the property.
Yeah, you should have seen it. As soon as the burglars saw me, they went white as death. Ran out the back door of the office. I heard a thud and cat shrieks, so I think they went over the railing and into the bushes out back. Clearly, my reputation precedes me. Mr. Capello was so proud.
You regard, but you didn't give chase.
Well, by the time I made it outside, they were miles away. So I went back to help Mrs. Capello. That kind of gentlemanly courtesy is why I'm so well regarded round these parts.
When did the burglary happen?
Oh, after 10 in the evening. I was just talking to Mrs. Capello.
Does she normally work this late?
No, it's the first time it happened. Usually I'm alone at night. I was explaining to Mrs. Capello how drinking water every 3 hours can help with digestion, when she excused herself and went back upstairs. Then there was a scream, and I ran up to the office, and...
I know what happened next, thank you. What about last evening? Do you have any more details about the break-in?
Of course. I write down everything that happens during my watch. Take a look.
Fastidious in its mundanity, but I will make of it what I can. What did the thief look like?
Shorter than me, mid-20s, a huge scar across the right cheek going from the eye. Short hair. She didn't look like a ghost. Too corporeal.
Hold on. She? You didn't think to mention the burglar was a woman?
Why did you assume it was a man? It's the 19th century, sir. Ambitious young women are out there pursuing a career, and I, for one, encourage it.
Yes, yes, spare me the sermon. I must go and inspect the crime scene. If I have further questions, Mr. Lloyd, I will find you.
Oh, don't worry. I won't be able to keep away.
Right.
The best on the market. You can wallop them, you can burn them. Nothing will work.
I bet he tested that himself.
Erinnerung bezüglich Tresorkombination Mr. Lloyd. Die standardmäßig verwendete Kombination für alle Tresore im Firmengebäude lautet 0, 13, 05, 00. Des Weiteren möchte ich Sie darum bitten, Ihre Wäsche zukünftig nicht mehr in unseren Tresoren aufzubewahren. Unsere Produkte sind keine Kleiderschränke. Halten Sie sich daran, oder ich muss unser Arbeitsverhältnis überdenken. Okay. Noch was?
Strength, security, peace of mind. Tacky.
Well, you know, that's your opinion, good sir.
Okay, hier war ein Badezimmer.
Bulging veins, cyanosis, bloodshot eyes, odd foaming in the mouth. Clear indications of blunt trauma, possibly inflicted before the victim was in the safe. Bruises, torn nails, bleeding was severe and continued at length.
Machen wir denn hier noch was? 2 brauchen wir noch. Hier.
Blood on the safe door could have been left by the victim.
Jetzt brauchen wir noch 1. Ist hier irgendwo hier unten noch was? Das hatten wir schon alles. Die Hände hatten wir schon. Vom Boden scheint nichts weiter zu sein. Hier.
Clothes are not fully buttoned. Was the victim dressing or undressing? What a rotten way to die.
Yeah, what a shame.
The bottle is half empty. A wine, well enjoyed.
Na? Nicht der Brief oder so? Ist unterm Tisch irgendwas? Ja, hier ist noch ein Glas.
Recently used, but why would it be here?
Oh, why do I get the worst jobs?
Hier haben wir auch Weinflaschen. Oh, hier haben wir noch einen Schreibtisch.
A concert program from 7 years ago. An Augusta La Duca is listed as a harpist in the orchestra.
Augusta, leider fehlt mir heute die Zeit für ein persönliches Gespräch, da ich einen wichtigen Kundentermin habe. Nichtsdestotrotz mache ich mir wirklich Sorgen, weil du immer zu solch später Stunde arbeitest. Du scheinst das gerne zu tun, daher wollte ich es bisher nicht ansprechen. Aber nun denke ich, dass wir uns einmal darüber unterhalten sollten. Vielleicht finden wir eine Kompromisslösung, Basilio.
Two theatre tickets for Shakespeare's Othello. The performance is tomorrow.
Have to respect the classics.
Ja, halt. Einfach die Schlüssel mitgenommen. Signor Coppello, wie ich erfuhr, wird Niccolo Detti bald wieder nach Corona ziehen. Wir wissen nicht, was das für die Zukunft der Familie Detti bedeutet, aber zumindest Horacio scheint in Rom zu bleiben. Ich möchte Ihnen hiermit mit Interesse der gesamten Familie dringend raten, jeglichen Kontakt zu Niccolo Detti zu vermeiden. Natürlich besteht nicht der geringste Zweifel daran, dass sie sogar im Falle einer Provokation Haltung bewahren würden, aber wir wissen nun einmal nicht, was die Dettis vorhaben. Seien Sie auf der Hut und setzen Sie nicht den guten Ruf Ihrer Familie aufs Spiel. In Bocca al Lupo, Naldo Ilani. In Basilio Coppellos Terminplaner sind dessen Termine für die nächsten Wochen aufgeführt. Einige der letzten Einträge sind interessant. So traf Mr. Coppello zum Beispiel vor einigen Wochen einen Detektiv. Zudem sind 2 Tage mit dem Kommentar der Tresor versehen, und zwar der gestrige und der heutige
He
Tag.
clearly needs a better work-life balance.
Erbe der Familie Detti wieder in der Heimat. Niccolo Detti, einer der Erben des Familienimperiums der Dettis, ist auf die Insel Corona zurückgekehrt, nachdem er 12 Jahre lang auf dem Festland studiert und gearbeitet hat. Zur selben Zeit ist Horacio Detti nach Italien aufgebrochen, was darauf hindeutet, dass Niccolo die Familiengeschäfte auf Corona übernehmen wird. Wir werden Sie über die weitere Entwicklung auf dem Laufenden halten und Basilio Coppello um eine Stellungnahme bitten. Bereits seit über 200 Jahren sind die Coppellos und die Dettis verfeindet. Auch wenn es in den letzten Jahrzehnten ruhig um die Familienfehde wurde, so erinnert sich dennoch manch einer an die Zeit, als sich Gonzalo Detti und Vitalio Coppello gegenseitig das Leben schwer machten. Wir hoffen, dass der Frieden dank Niccolo Dettis jugendlicher Aufgeschlossenheit und Basilio Coppellos unaufgeregtem Geschäftsgebaren gewahrt werden kann.
Well-organized workplace?
Mr. Capello is the best.
Okay, this chap is seriously creepy.
Oh, wo sind wir jetzt hier? Mal gucken, ob wir irgendwas Neues in der Fallmappe haben. Oh, einiges. Einiges Neues. Achso, wir können ja noch, seht ihr mal, wir hatten ja hier die Leiche irgendwie. Chemische Analyse durchführen. Ich werde das mal auch wieder durch Zufall machen hier. Und überspringen. Der Schaum, naja, dafür, dass da was mit Gift oder sowas drin war, das ist ganz klar. Das erkennt man dann. Ich werde jetzt wahrscheinlich erstmal noch mit ihm hier nochmal sprechen müssen. Der kam ja ins Zimmer.
Do you know anything else about the dead body in the safe?
Well, there is the rule of threes. You can survive 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, 3 hours in harsh weather, and 3 minutes
Of you talking?
without air. I'm sorry, did you say something?
No, very enlightening, Mr. Lloyd, thank you. Do you know anything about these entries?
No, but Mr. Capello is so well organized. I use a different method, very popular among the Buddhist monks. You create an attic in your mind and...
I'm familiar. Keep it tidy, put only necessary information in, remove unnecessary information regularly.
What? No, it's called an attic. You just stuff it with everything. You never know what might prove helpful someday.
That is profoundly upsetting.
I don't know.
Do you know whose keys these are?
Probably Mr. Capello's. Police took him so suddenly. I have the same set, but it's more efficient. Has fewer keys.
So you don't have access to the entire office?
No. Only Mr. and Mrs. Capello have the key to the back door.
Do you know what this note might be about?
I cannot presume to know another's mind, of course, but I think Mr. and Mrs. Capello have been having some familial difficulties, probably due to their lack of children. One of my oldest friends helps couples with their relationship troubles, and he always says...
You don't have to continue.
Oh, well, he says that to me as well, but I'm perfectly happy to.
No, I insist.
I know of it, but forgot. I know of it, but forgot. I don't know.
Have you noticed anything different about Mrs. Capello recently?
Not really. She talks to me more when I start my shift. Probably because of the 100 Best Curry Recipes book I'm reading. Oh, and we've been running out of paper a lot lately, so she often sends me out to buy more for her. She's very particular about the paper we use. Only one store on the island stocks it, and it's on the other side of the town. But I'm really fast.
Interesting, thank you.
Und gemein.
Oh, actually... No. I don't know.
Is this code memo still valid?
Oh, yes. It's the same combination code everywhere. It corresponds to Mrs. Capello's birthday, actually. In fact, during this year's celebration, I was allowed a sip of champagne. That's when I had to dry my trousers, and then I had to...
Okay, thank you, Billy. What can you tell me about Mr. Capello?
He's a good employer, but very focused on work, and very serious about security, of course, since he employed a night watch of my caliber. Not everyone appreciates his strict business approach, though. Store clerks don't seem to last long in the office.
Good to know.
Jetzt gehen wir mal hier hin. Dann müssen wir wahrscheinlich erstmal die Dame finden, die hier eingebrochen ist. Deshalb hätten wir mal... Wo war denn? Ich hatte doch gerade so ein Bild. Hier, das da. Oh, hier ist was.
The letter F is inscribed within a 4-leaf clover pattern. Passe muraille. Walk through walls in French. Our thief seems rather arrogant. A comprehensive set of lockpicks, recently cleaned, with no fresh scratches.
Wir werden die mal beim Polizeirevier suchen. Also in den Akten. Vielleicht finden wir da ja was zu der. Nee, halt, das war ja gar nicht das Archiv, das war ja schon wieder auf der anderen Seite. So, Verbrechen, Eigentumsdelikte ist natürlich Einbrecherin, ne? Taterzeuge vielleicht. Findet man hier. Und Stadtteile, wo waren wir jetzt? In Grand Surrey waren wir. Felicia Sylvain, 26 Jahre alt, führt für die Bande Hinterhofmeute Einbrüche durch. Die Bande hat ein Versteck in der Clay Street Im Zentrum von Miners End auf der rechten Wange hat sie eine auffällige Narbe. Sie macht widersprüchliche Angaben zum Ursprung dieser Narbe, hat sie aber bereits seit ihrem 18. Lebensjahr. Sie geriet auf die schiefe Bahn, nachdem ihre Eltern auf hoher See ums Leben gekommen waren und sie ihr Erbe aufgebraucht hatte. Sie wurde bereits mehrere Male festgenommen, erhielt jedoch aufgrund ihrer Kooperationsbereitschaft stets vergleichbar milde Strafen.
Maybe it would be wise to take a look around outside before we enter. Just a thought.
Okay, das machen wir aber auch erst beim nächsten Mal. Für heute war es das und wir schauen sie uns beim nächsten Mal an. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. Bis dann. Tschüssi.